Hello YouTube, this is Shamanistic, back into the very important topic of the dark side of Scorpio. So just to continue about the dark side, if you guys remember that I have told you that Scorpios kind of live on the transformation from a scorpion all the way to an eagle, and that transformation becomes a life journey. It's somehow like the end result or the output of actually living. So the question now that I'm going to tackle is why? Why are they like that? So let me remind you that Scorpios are a water sign and they are a fixed water sign. So in analogy, that means that they are something like a glacier or an iceberg. So they can be frozen and they can be in the middle of the ocean, and if you're not very aware, you might stumble upon them and you'll be crushed instead. So being a water sign means that you are sensitive, you kind of see beyond the falsehood and the deception of the human nature. Superficiality is not something that is part of you, and there is this notion to dig deeper. It's just digging deeper. And being a fixed water gives this not stability, but this firmness of opinion and firmness of expectation. It's not flowing like a Pisces. When they have an opinion, they're very standoffish about it, very aloof about it. That's what makes Scorpios kind of hard to sway, actually hard to sway, because once they form their idea about something, once they are set their course into something, it's very hard to change course, and that makes them stubborn. One of the things are very important why the dark side of Scorpio somehow scares the shit out of a lot of people, given that the statistics that a lot of murderers are born in November. So the reason is that it's because they are seeking the truth. So when you are seeking the truth, when you go beyond what is relevant or apparent, so you are looking for the reality, the ultimate reality, and sometimes that becomes neurotic. That means they might find a truth that is annoying, that has been covered by us humans. We romanticized it or something like this. So there will be this different philosophy about it. Let me give you an example. I sound quite vague for you, I know. So let's talk about death. Okay. A lot of other zodiac signs will romanticize death. What do I mean with this? It's a long sleep. He's resting in peace. He's sleeping in his coffin, or they became butterflies and all that. For a Scorpio, when they say death, they just know it as it is. That means your heart stopped, your body function stopped, you're gonna start rotting. Something is just gone. It's an end to it, and there is no response, and the smell of flesh and all that thing. So they are very aware of the truth of death. They always question what is beyond death, but they always are accepting of the truth of death. So that makes them kind of hard to kind of make them romanticize or beautify a certain notion, because they go like, give me the reason, give me all or nothing. Give me the real reason, the ultimate truth, or nothing. So what makes Scorpios be dark and neurotic and maybe reach the point of murder is that they understand the meaning of ending and the meaning of rebirth. So the idea of it's ending and rebirth. So if they believe that your existence on earth is a toxic existence, then you should end, which is one of the reasons why it's very, 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 very scary when Scorpios are angry or vengeful or revengeful about a certain thing with other people, because perhaps they saw ugliness and they justify that this type of ugliness without any beautification is supposed to disappear. It should be gone. It's unnecessary. So this notion of deep, sometimes a flaw because of the too much reality, make them very standoffish. And also the fact that they feel so much and they think so much and they're always in their head making correlations with things. So if they're mad, if the element of temper and anger is in, it's very difficult to tell them to just move on or pass by, because they will find every logical and every intuitive liaison to justify that you deserve a karma. So sometimes I think about that maybe karma was invented by a Scorpio. This idea of karma is a bitch maybe is invented by a Scorpio, because they are very orthodox about an eye to an eye and a tooth by a tooth. They do believe that. You hit me, I hit you, and all that. It takes a lot, I'm saying a lot of word here, because it takes a lot of grit, a lot of maturity, a lot of life experience and meditation for a Scorpio to understand that an eye to an eye is not supposed to be taken by word all the time. Sometimes people do things by mistake. Sometimes people do not think that deeply like them. Sometimes people they're not that sensitive like them. So it should be just passed by and just go with the flow. This is the funny part, because they're water sign. They're supposed to be flowy, but since they are fixed, they are like an iceberg. They're just stuck there in the middle of the ocean, cold as hell, frozen. And this thing makes them, despite water, but very firm. And sometimes people misdiagnose Scorpios as earthy or something like this, because they somehow have this vibe of stagnancy sometimes, especially if they have a neurotic, turbulent side, not very healthy. So you'll feel like they're just stuck in there, in their own opinion, having it deep inside, and just they're lurking, and once you look at it, it just comes out. And this is somehow really, I know I'm speaking about very scary shit, because they are known for loving deeply, having this very, very passionate vibe, very, very passionate. Not the fairy passion like raw passion. It's so sensual passion. Even the work is sensual passion. You feel like it's very subtle and flowy, but calculated, and it's a combination of things that really makes Scorpio somehow hard to understand. They just become a puzzle, because how can you be this calculated with high logical form and then still be crazy sensitive? And if she's a girl, she's just gonna be too loving, but at the same time very calculated and cold and stingy with her money and something like this, which makes it a little bit paradoxical. So this is one of the things. And since it's all about roots, it's all about the waterbed, it's all about the end of the well, it's all about how far are we going with this rabbit hole. This is what makes Scorpios hard to handle. Some people say they're hard to handle because they are definitely not a swimming pool. So if you treat them like a swimming pool, you are screened out quite fast. And if you enter their realm and you end up getting them hurt because of some miscalculated or something, if the Scorpio is not that mature, they will think that you all also have the same nature of digging deeper into the truth and all of that. So they will believe that what you've done is intentional, and that's the problem. That's the problem. If they think it's intentional, you've done it by intention.